Have you ever walked into a job and instantly felt like your entire spirit was being suffocated? Like something invisible wrapped around your chest and slowly started to squeeze, not just your body, but your essence? It's that deep, indescribable sense of discomfort, that heavy silence inside, almost like your soul is whispering, "This isn't where we belong." If you've ever felt that, know this: you're not crazy, lazy, or ungrateful. You're just not like the rest. You were never meant to follow the rules that society laid out for everyone else. Because you, my friend, are a chosen one, and the traditional path was never yours to walk. From the moment we enter this world, we are fed a script. It starts with school, then college, followed by a job, a steady paycheck, a mortgage, maybe a few promotions, and retirement at 65 if you're lucky. That's the formula. That's the safe path. But if you're reading this, chances are you've never felt safe in that formula. You've never felt fulfilled by ticking off boxes someone else created. Instead, you felt out of place, misunderstood, trapped. While others celebrate their first job offers, you might have felt an unexplained sadness or even dread. While coworkers gather around the water cooler discussing weekend plans, you might have felt like your soul was slowly slipping away. And it's not because something's wrong with you, it's because something divine is right with you. The workplace wasn't built for people like you. It was designed for structure, for predictability, for people who could adapt to systems and follow directions without asking too many questions. But chosen ones, we question everything. We feel deeply. We see beyond the surface. Our minds don't just work, they wonder. Our hearts don't just beat, they burn with purpose. And when you put that kind of soul into a cubicle, into a repetitive task, into a hierarchy that values obedience over originality, of course you'll feel like you're dying a little inside. It's not just that you dislike work, it's that your very spirit rejects it. That gut-level discomfort when someone gives you orders, that internal resistance when you're told how to spend your time, what to do, and when to do it, that's not you being rebellious. That's your soul remembering its purpose. You weren't born to serve someone else's vision. You weren't designed to live by someone else's clock. You weren't made to silence your instincts just to keep a job. You came here with a mission, a higher calling, a light that refuses to be dimmed. And the thing is, no amount of money will ever be enough to make it feel okay. Sure, a paycheck might cover the bills, but it will never feed your soul. Because chosen ones don't thrive off of money, we thrive off of meaning. And when your job lacks purpose, when it becomes just a routine, your soul begins to atrophy. You wake up tired, even after sleeping. You dread Mondays. You find yourself zoning out in meetings, counting down the hours, not just until the end of the day, but until the end of the week, the month, the year. You're not living. You're just surviving. And survival was never meant to be your story. If you've ever wondered why you feel like an outsider in the workplace, why you always seem a bit too intense, too sensitive, too restless, this is why. Because your energy is different. You carry a rare frequency. When you enter a room, people feel it, even if they can't put it into words. Some are drawn to you, inspired by your presence, your ideas, your vision. Others are uncomfortable, even threatened, because you challenge the status quo just by existing. You're not trying to be different, you just are. And that's exactly what makes you powerful. But here's the hard truth. In a job, you're expected to suppress all of that, to tone it down, to make yourself smaller so others feel comfortable, to follow policies instead of passions, to trade your energy for a paycheck and your dreams for deadlines. That's the price. And for most people, that trade-off makes sense. But for you, it's too high. Because every day you stay in that job, you're dimming your light just a little more. You're silencing the voice that's trying to guide you toward your real path. And let's talk about that voice. You know the one. The quiet nudge in the back of your mind, the whisper in your heart, the sudden waves of clarity that come when you're alone. It's always been there, hasn't it? That knowing, that pull, that feeling that you're meant for something more. Not just more money or recognition, but more impact, more alignment, more truth. That's your higher self speaking. That's your divine calling trying to get your attention. And the more you ignore it, the louder the discomfort becomes. Society has trained us to silence that voice, to call it unrealistic or naive. We've been told that dreams don't pay the bills, that passion is a luxury, that purpose is for the lucky few. But the truth is, that voice is your blueprint. It's the map to the life you were actually born to live. And the discomfort you feel in traditional jobs, that's not failure. That's feedback. It's your soul waving a red flag saying, wrong direction. You weren't meant to clock in and out. You were meant to create, to build, to lead, to heal. Whether it's through art, business, teaching, speaking, healing, or innovating, your gifts are meant to be shared with the world, not buried under to-do lists and time cards. The world doesn't need another compliant employee. It needs awakened souls who are brave enough to say, this system doesn't work for me. I'm going to build something better. Now, stepping away from the traditional path isn't easy. It takes courage, faith, grit. It might mean being misunderstood, judged, or even ridiculed. People may think you're irresponsible or crazy. But here's the secret. Most people are only comfortable with your light if it doesn't shine brighter than theirs. That's why staying true to yourself is the most radical thing you can do, because it gives others permission to do the same. And here's the beautiful twist. When you finally honor that voice, when you decide to pursue what sets your soul on fire, everything starts to shift. Opportunities appear where there were none. The right people find you. Ideas flow. Energy returns. Because now you're living in alignment. You're not just existing, you're thriving. And that's what chosen ones were born to do. So if you've been feeling like work just doesn't make sense for you, like every job feels like a cage, like you're meant for more, but don't know where to start, know this, you're not broken. You're awakened. And your path isn't behind a desk or within a company, it's within you. It always has been. This message didn't find you by accident. It found you because you're ready. Ready to remember who you are. Ready to rise into your true purpose. Ready to stop shrinking and start shining. Your life isn't meant to be a slow countdown to retirement. It's meant to be a blazing trail of impact, freedom, creativity, and truth. So take this as your sign. Not just to dream, but to decide. To step out of the mold. To choose the unknown. To follow that inner compass, no matter where it leads. Because while the path may be uncertain, your soul already knows the way. And when you finally follow it, that's when the magic begins. There comes a moment in every awakened soul's life where they pause and ask, is this really it? That moment often happens after yet another job interview, another disappointing day at work, or another night spent staring at the ceiling, wondering where the spark went. It's not just dissatisfaction, it's deeper. It's a quiet ache in your spirit, a knowing that you weren't meant for the hamster wheel of the 9 to 5. You weren't born to trade your energy for a paycheck. You were born to lead, to create, to shift energy, to bring light into dark places. And deep down, you already know that. Still, many of us fall into the same pattern. We go to school, get the degree, search for security, and hope that fulfillment will follow. But what happens when it doesn't? What happens when your soul starts resisting the very path you were told was the right one? The answer is painful but freeing. You were never meant to follow that path in the first place, especially if you're a chosen one, someone whose very essence vibrates on a higher frequency, someone who sees through illusion, who feels everything deeply, and who knows intuitively that there is more to life than survival. You see, the traditional workplace was never built for people like you. Walk into most offices, and what you'll find is an atmosphere heavy with invisible weight, anxiety, competition, fear, gossip, and survival energy. People move like ghosts, disconnected from themselves and from one another, not because they are bad people, but because they're stuck in a system that doesn't nurture their souls. They're there not out of joy or alignment, but because they feel they have no choice. And that's what creates the real danger for someone like you. The silent, slow erosion of your spirit. Low vibrational energy isn't just uncomfortable, it's draining. It seeps into your aura, makes your body tired, your mind restless, your heart confused. Over time, it makes you doubt yourself. You start feeling exhausted all the time, overwhelmed, anxious for no clear reason. You might even begin to question your purpose, your abilities, your life. But the truth is, it's not you. It's the environment. It's the fact that you're trying to thrive in soil that wasn't meant to nourish your roots. The longer you stay in that kind of space, the more disconnected you become from your true self. And if you're not careful, you can lose sight of the powerful being you really are. Your soul wasn't designed to survive in systems built on repetition, restriction, and fear. It was designed to soar in spaces where creativity, freedom, and divine inspiration are not only welcome, but required. And this is where so many chosen ones find themselves stuck, in jobs that offer stability on paper, but at the cost of their inner fire. When you're in a space where the main goal is to fit in, follow instructions, and not rock the boat, you slowly start to dim your own light just to stay afloat. Your creativity, your divine gift begins to wither. And that's not a metaphor. It's real. Your creativity is more than just a hobby or talent. It's your life force. It's the divine spark within you that connects you to source and expresses itself through you in 1,000 different ways. Whether it's painting, writing, building, teaching, healing, or innovating, your soul speaks through creation. But most jobs don't want creators. They want employees. They want order. They want predictability. And over time, the pressure to suppress the creative force in favor of productivity can begin to feel like spiritual suffocation. There's something profoundly tragic about watching your own spark die out in slow motion. You start to notice it when your ideas no longer excite you, when your dreams seem further away than ever, when you catch yourself saying, maybe this is just how life is. But that's not life. That's a system that's designed to keep you small. And you were never meant to play small. You were meant to move with power, to create, to innovate, to lead, to disrupt. You are not here to check boxes. You are here to break them wide open. Even when it comes to money, the job system is limiting your potential. Think about it. When you work for someone else, they decide how much your time is worth, not based on your potential, your gifts, or your energy, but based on what's convenient for them. That's not wealth. That's a leash. And it's the opposite of the abundance you were born to experience. True wealth comes when you align with your purpose, when you serve from a place of authenticity, and when you open yourself to multiple streams of income that flow from your soul's mission, not someone else's business plan. Imagine what it would be like to wake up every day knowing that your work is an extension of your higher calling. Imagine using your gifts to serve, to teach, to heal, to lead, and being abundantly supported while doing it. That's the life you're meant for. Not one where you're stuck calculating how many sick days you have left or wondering if you'll get laid off in the next round of budget cuts. You're not meant to live in financial fear. You're meant to walk in financial freedom, and that comes when you claim your role as a creator, not a worker. But this path requires more than a decision. It requires courage. Because stepping away from the traditional path can feel terrifying. Society will call you crazy. Your family might not understand. Friends may question you, but your soul will know. It always knows. And the moment you begin to follow that inner pull, even if it's just a whisper at first, the universe begins to rearrange everything in your favor. The truth is, your mission is far too important to be squeezed into someone else's schedule. You need the space to dream, to move, to listen, to follow the divine nudges that lead you exactly where you're meant to be. A job, by its very nature, often takes that space away. It limits your time, your energy, your mental clarity. You're too busy fulfilling someone else's goals to even consider your own. But your divine mission, it needs you fully, and it will wait for you, but not forever. And let's not ignore the spiritual warfare that often comes with being a chosen one in a workplace environment. Your energy is different. Your light shines too brightly. Your authenticity, your truth, your quiet confidence, it unsettles people who are still asleep. You become a mirror for their shadows, and that can make you a target. You'll notice people gossiping, throwing subtle jabs, trying to dim your shine without ever admitting why they're doing it. It's not about you, it's about the light you carry. But why waste your brilliance proving your worth in places that were never meant for you? You need to be in rooms where your energy is celebrated, not questioned. Where your gifts are welcomed, not minimized. Where your presence is a blessing, not a threat. And those spaces exist, but you won't find them on the usual job boards. You create them. You build them. You step into alignment with your purpose and let the right people, opportunities, and abundance find you there. So if you've been job hunting, or if you're stuck in a job that drains your spirit, this is your sign. Not just to quit, but to awaken. To remember who you are. You are not here to just pay bills and get by. You are here to ignite change. To awaken others through your example. To bring light, wisdom, and healing into a world that desperately needs it. You don't need permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start. One step at a time. Create something. Share your voice. Follow that wild idea that won't leave you alone. And trust that everything you need will begin to align the moment you say yes to your true path. This life is too short to be lived in fear. Your gifts are too sacred to be silenced. Your calling is too powerful to be ignored. And your soul? It didn't come here to follow. It came here to lead. So, what are you waiting for?